everybody. Andy here, aka Montolio, and we are back for another Vintage League running Golos Shops. And I posted a video yesterday of this and running it back. I can't remember if this is exactly the same. I believe it is. I put a Ginger Brute in the sideboard here. Basically, I'm having some difficulty with initiative. I do feel like it's a 50-50 match, but if we're on the play, it significantly improves. And one of the challenges I have is being able to steal the initiative, as anybody does that plays the initiative and against mono white initiative. And so running a Miser's Gingerbread here, not sure whether it's too cute or not. Certainly a bit of a nombo with Null Rod as you're not able to give it evasion, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. Just having an early drop here could be significant. Main deck, not too much to say about this, especially if you watched my previous video. Four Null Rods are very good in the metagame right now. A lot of the paradoxical outcomes, regardless of variations, are struggling with this. They are very counter-light, these decks right now. Most you're going to see is 4 Force of Wills and 2 negations, and the idea is they're trying to overload you with POs and stock ups, and therefore you have a pretty reasonable chance of resolving something like a Null Rod. The Constrictor of Crucible of World Spheres and all the strip effects are extremely potent, and of course Golos to be able to search up those aforementioned strip effects. So this is basically how the deck functions, and sideboard, obviously, as it is with most sideboards that aren't extreme combo, your focus is on tackling Bazaar. I've got the 4 ley lines, Disruptor Flute, and Grafdigger's Cage and Tabernacle. Bazaar strategies, mono white initiative. I do have the 3 dismembers and the Gingerbread, and I'm running some Argenta Massacres also to help with the mono white initiative matchup, amongst other things. Argenta Massacre is just a solid card, and of course, a couple of Mandrake Traps to be able to combat extreme combo. If you haven't done so already, guys, I would appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe. We're going to see you in round 1. Okay, guys, did win a die roll here, but our mana just is not great. I feel like we can do better than this. Much, much better. Okay. So what do we want to do here? I think I'm going to put Ghost Quarter away. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Patchwork off of... Do I want to do that? I can't do everything, unfortunately. 3-6 is 2-4-7. So a little bit of a greedy line not playing Null Rod out. I know Take Your Time does play fast mana, but I think that this is just the best way to go about things. And if they counter this, so be it. We'll have the Null Rod here to follow up next turn. I'm hoping they just wasteland me and play a Mox. A little bit scary seeing 8 mana over there, 8 cards over there, but yep. So Null Rod unlikely to resolve post Ancestral. Hopefully they didn't find anything and have to discard 2. That would be really sweet. That is not likely to be the case here. No, this is Dak Faden. Feels like a Dak. If it is, it's just game. Well, I got severely punished for not playing the null rod. Premature concession, almost assuredly, but I think I will play them a couple Masticores maybe here. Probably can cut a bog. Oh, that just felt awful. I hate to get punished for, I don't want to call it a play mistake, but a decision that ended up costing me the game, where my opponent went Black Lotus Petal, Mana Crypt, and who knows what else they had into Dak Faden. Like, had I played the Null Rod there and not been greedy, that could have been a very different game. I know this player, Take Your Time, plays some pretty non-meta decks. Like, nobody plays Dak Faden right now, but I know they have their pet deck that they like to play. So, um, I think it's reasonable to expose the workshop given that I have an ancient tomb here, but I'm playing the workshop because I want to be able to wasteland potentially next turn if I don't draw a more relevant play and be able to cast one of my big guys if not. And I don't think it's that big of a deal if I get wastelanded out. So I don't think I want to play Masticore here. I think I'm going to play Golos. I'm going to play the Ancient Tomb here because I want to sandbag the Wasteland. Just get an Urza Saga here. Okay, that worked out a bit better. I do think I probably will bring in some Mindbreak Traps. I think they kind of high-rolled last game, but that's probably okay. Take out a Nettle Cyst. Take out a Masticore here. Let's try that. This is not the matchup I was wanting. Let's put it that way. I have to hope that they have a fair turn here. Don't explode on me. They have mulliganed. Yeah. Pretty dangerous if I had a Mindbreak Trap, I'll tell you that. Null Rod? Pretty disappointing. Got very high rolled here. And my opponent was obviously not in a good position. I mean, I obviously have to take their land here. I'd love to put the Chalice out at 1. It's just not even a possibility. Yeah, Null Rod would sure look nice here, wouldn't it? So they're on the control aspect of their deck here. Well, I think I'm going to try and win via Saga here. Hope that they just are on all counter magic and air here. And hopefully their Mana Crypt will help me. This feels very reminiscent of my last video in match 5 in game 3, where I kept a hand that I just got absolutely destroyed getting comboed out. Let's see if we can get a Crucible into play. I don't anticipate that's the case. Seal Sabotage, Consign. The Sapphire was obviously a bad draw for me. So they're obviously just sitting on control here. Well, that's pretty good. Let's see if I can get them to counter this. Now, fairly tenuous for me because I'm getting low on life here, but see if I can resolve this. So if I cast it, I die. I guess I am dead here, unfortunately. But we did find our way there. It just was a byproduct of having to use Ancient Tombs here. Okay. Tough round 1 loss. Okay, we're going to get a chance of revenge at this player. We were playing Dredge earlier against Dredge, and I have a pretty good setup against Dredge in general with this deck because I have ley lines and all of the wastelands and things like that. It's pretty powerful. I think I just want to play Crucible here. I don't think they have main deck vigor, so I'm not worried about it. Now, the problem I'm faced with is main deck. I do not have Tabernacle. Hmm. I'm not sure whether playing this guy out is even right. I guess I could just block here. I don't want to draw my opponent extra cards off their dredgers, right? They did not hit one there. I think I'm going to take it for this one, and I can double block it the hollow one next turn. That was a bad draw. Let's see if I can resolve this thing. Hopefully I didn't draw into a force of will. I guess I'll get in. Ooh, 3 balls a real nice one. They can dredge here. This is the problem with this card, right? That I have to be careful with. Yeah, they know. Should have actually played the other Wasteland there. That was a bit of a mistake on my part. Chill, yep. Okay, that was a good draw. Okay. Got a game 1 against Dredge. That does feel pretty good. So, null rods, not good. Chalice, not good. Revokers, not good. Mayline, good. Graft Diggers, Disruptor, Tabernacle. That's a clean 60. Just wondering, do I want Argentum Masticore? I don't feel like it's necessary, and it's not very good against Force of Vigor. Like last time I played this opponent, I mulliganed to absolute oblivion. Now, this is a risky hand. I'm on the draw, but I have 2 very solid pieces of hate, Leyline being my best, and yes, I could get blown out by Vigor, but I'm not shipping a hand that's got Leyline. It's just too good against what they're doing. Yeah, Hollow One's not what I want to see. Okay, that was a good draw. This makes it harder for them to Vigor now, and we can get a blocker and Patchwork here, and if we find a land that taps for mana, we can start making constructs, which would be ideal. Constructs are going to be my best thing here. Interesting. They're just after a hollow one, I guess. Hmm. All right, we'll take that. I think that was a bit of a premature concession. Okay, here we are. We're playing against Spiked You. Lurus of the Dream Den. His hand's fine. Wish I'd won the die roll. Be much better for me, but that's okay. Gonna keep it. Bubble. Okay. Jesus. What are the odds? Come on. I'll take it. Yep. Love a sphere here. Crack your bauble. Okay. I'm smelling weakness on lands here. That was a good draw. They might have to force a will this if they don't have other mana. Wow, they got rid of a Lorn Revealed. I'd like to play around Spell Pierce here, but I just feel like we got to get going. Yeah, it's dangerous against my deck playing a non-basic here. I got 3 Crucibles. Okay, they did find another land here. Not crazy to play the Scrawling Crawler out in this situation. I don't really want to give them card draw, but we're going to try and get the game over with here. Yeah, I'm surprised they took that one, to be honest. They got Lurus, okay. Wasteland, Crucible. It's pretty disappointing. They do have a recurring Vexing Bauble here. Okay, they can bobble. It's Pretty bad for me. Do I want to move it over? Probably. It's a bit risky, but puts my opponent potentially in a position where they have to chump block with the Lurus here this turn. Ocelot Bride, interesting. This one has definitely slipped away from me. I think my best draw here is likely Golos. Yep, this one slipped away here. See, this is the type of stuff, guys. Like, I ran into a deck in round one against Take Your Time. It's just a complete and utter non-meta deck. And it's the same thing with this one. And I mean, they're cool decks, and I'm sure it's nice for everybody to be watching them. But this is not what I'm looking to play against here. Like I'm wanting to play real meta decks. This is kind of like a joke, right? What we're playing against. All right. Well, Nullrod didn't seem amazing, but it didn't seem bad either. They have swords, so I don't want to get too deep. I'll just play this. They've got basics, which is somewhat of a problem for my deck. And I don't mean what I'm saying as an insult to my opponent's decks. I mean, this is part of what happens when you play in leagues is people play jank and they experiment and play non-meta decks. That's how you find things. But, my first league, I got to play against PO 3 times and White Initiative twice. And those are the types of decks that I'm looking to play against. Dredge, that sort of thing. Playing against Dak Faden Deck and Ocelot Pride is not really what I'm after. But let's see if we can do a bit better here. It's not like we were beaten egregiously there. Just it's not how I would have drawn it up. This hand's a bit risky, but I want to ensure that I've got mana here. I think this is just the safest play here for me. If they explode on me, it's unfortunate, but this is going to ensure they get basics, which I totally understand. But then we're going to try and take over with the ghost quarters. If they play an Oslet Pride here, yeah, it's bad for me, but Force of Will. Yep. In their upkeep, I will strip mine the I realize they may have a planes there, but just got to do our best here. Hopefully I didn't put them into like an Oslo Pride. Okay. So we did get there on that one. I'm almost wondering, do I want Dismember? I am a little bit nervous. Let's try this. Not going to keep this one. Much better. I think I'm going to keep the Null Rod just in case they have a really powerful turn and the benefit outweighs the risk for me. It's aggressive. I'm just going to get rid of it. Yep. Another Guide of Souls. Come on, man. Well, I mean, I can't make two plays unless I want to cast the Null Rod. I don't think that I do. It's a little unfortunate because if I get wastelanded here, it does put me in a bit of a tougher spot, but them's the dice. I have a feeling we're going to get swords here, but And I cannot equip, and that's okay. More revealed. Okay. 3 cards in hand. That was a good draw. And it will get in. We want a Saga, right? I'm just going to try and ride Lurus. Whew, that was such a good one. Then we're going to drop God's Pharaoh's statue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're going to get it in easy. Okay, nice win for us there. Okay, we want a die roll. Sweet. That's really awkward. I don't think we can keep this. No, we could do better than this. Much better. Okay, that's fantastic. Just running it straight out. Hopefully they don't have Wasteland. I really want to build towards this God Pharaoh statue. And hopefully they're on the PO version here of Lurus. I don't know what they're for sure playing, but they're MTG Goldfishes. They like playing combos. So if we can keep them playing fair, I think that's good for us. Oh, they had portable hole. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. That's pretty bad for me. Not ideal, guys. Not ideal. We're probably dead here. I need to rip a workshop for this God Pharaoh statue. Or a Mox. Mox, Lotus, workshop. Well, let's see if they found a force. This is very strong if I can get resolve it. Okay. There's Lurus here. This is my gut. A mini fourth. That's going to be pretty good against me. Well, they caught me with the Miser's portable hole. I think they only run one main. And they got me with it. But this is the matchup we're looking for here, guys. Yeah, it got me good with that portable hole. Maybe I want some Masticores to be able to remove portable holes. What do I think of that? Take out a Bajuka Bog. And what do we want to take out here? Maybe a Scrawling Crawler. Too slow? Yep. We're the old 61 card deck, guys. No shame in that. No shame in that. Okay, look. It's not optimal. There is a world where we want to put Chalice on 1, but we have to put it on 0. So that means they've got the portable hole here. Their pause there was like, should we force it? I don't hate our turn. Obviously, I'm hoping that our crawlers are on to draw us an extra card next turn. This feels like a portable hole. Oh. Need some help here. It's a good one. I'm not going to show the wasteland here. Yep. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like they run a basic, guys, but because I drew the Ancient Tomb, it gives me the luxury of being able to use Saga still. Okay, no rod. So Portable Hole could come in and clean this up, but let's hope they don't have it. They missed a land drop last turn. Very strong. Okay. Much better showing that game. I think I like the way we're set up, guys. I don't like this 51 cards, though. Once again, it was too slow there. I forgot about it. Well, I mean, it's pretty mana light once I've got a Null Rod into play, but I just don't see a world where I can mulligan this. It's got Null Rod in it. I'm going to be able to get into play. I'm on the draw. We get an extra card. Look at a land here. Like, this has some good tools. So 5 mana here. They can swords my crawler here, which is what they're very likely to do. Okay, that's in. That is good for me. That's nice. Definitely putting that at 1. It's a lot of damage coming through. Now, they can swords this thing. They can't, actually, because I have a chalice. Put Mana Vault in their yard. Okay, they do have 3 mana. Thunder Trap Trainer, yep. Love a Wasteland here. Probably should have cast it anyways into my chalice. And they can stock up here and buy some time for a turn, but they are underneath my sphere here. I mean, I am going to need some help. That definitely constitutes help. And now this Scrawling Crawler does put them under pressure here. It cannot be swords. It can be Flame of a Nord. That's dead. It's mana neutral. Okay, we got there. Nice win there against PO again. Okay, here we are in round 5. We run into Dave Kaplan. Dave will be playing Esper Lurus. We are in the draw. This is not a keep. This is much nicer looking. It's a tough call, to be perfectly honest with you. That would be probably different if I was on the draw here, or on the play, excuse me. So they are playing Lurus Control. I think the best thing in this situation is for me to put a sphere down. I expect this to be countered. They will likely untap Wasteland me. The goal here is to resolve a Crucible. Now, is this a frog? That is nice that that is in. They floated a white mana, but I've set a Chalice at 1 here. So I don't know what that means. A Lorn Revealed, perhaps? Now, they could have a Bowmaster here as well. I will trade here. That Intolin's Dave has a second one, but that's what he's using his turn for. I think that's reasonable. They are tapped out of blue mana here. I think our line is to try and resolve a Crucible now. And we can sit back and start making construct tokens, and then we can start wastelanding our opponent out. Now, we are under pressure here. And they are going here fast and furious. They're discarding and trying to kill me. And, you know, tempoing me out is not the wrong thing here. Like, it's solid. But if I can get my construct going here, it's going to be decent. I'm also potentially contending with Lurus here. Yeah, they're going in on it. It seems like the correct thing to do. It's dig through time. Looking for a wasteland. Yeah. So I hope they play a non-wasteland effect here, and it puts our Saga on. Okay. We're going to need some help here, but Scrolling Crawler is not bad, actually. I feel like the Sphere is probably the smart line here. Maybe not, though. No, yeah, it probably has to be the Sphere, unfortunately. The reason being is that they can almost cast their Frog here. I hate taking the two damage off this thing here, the Ancient Tomb, but it is what it is. We are likely to lose because of the Ancient Tomb. This is going to make it a 4. Do I just block this thing? Okay, they're flying it. Okay, we are dead next turn, unfortunately. A Bajuka Bog would be decent here. There's the cat. I don't have a needle in this deck. I think a difference, I mean, obviously Dave being on the play here was important. They had a Mox, which is not a common occurrence out of these decks. Okay. So Golos in the Bajuka Bog is not possible here, I do not believe. With Inventor's Fair, I'm going to search for it. What about Black Lotus? Black Lotus might make this possible. So 4, yeah, it does. Just. Oh no, I have a sphere. I guess the best way I could have done this was to not do it quite this way. And I could have gotten a Revoker. But the problem with Revoker is it does not stop Bowmaster from coming into play. And I don't have a way to shut the Psychic Frog down. Yeah, Revoker would work. Yeah, I'm just one short. We'll go take a look. Okay. Don't think there's much we want to do outside of perhaps a Disruptor Fruit for Frog. They are playing Esper, so the truth of the matter is Argenta Masticore is not that good in this matchup. That was close. We almost squeezed out of that one. Because had we been able to have the extra mana to go get the Golos to get the Bajuka Bog, they had no cards in hand. And yes, they had a 6/7 Frog, and they could have made it a 7/8, but I could have double blocked it and killed it. They would not have been able to fly it. And so that would have likely held them back, and then I was going to start to take over with my Wastelands and Crucible. I think Null Rod is not good in this matchup, but it does likely just enough to be able to manage them, because them having that extra mana that I can't get at is pretty powerful. Okay. Look, it's a bit clunky. Or a bit threat light, I guess is probably a better word, but hopefully I can resolve my fast mana here, get my Vexing Bauble into play, resolve my Golos, and then just wasteland them out of the game. It's risky. And Dave having to waste a force on a Vexing Bauble is not a small thing. Look, it's risky. I acknowledge it. I mean, we're getting Saga. And yes, it may get wastelanded. I don't know what this weird thing is here, but anyways. So they did have it. Look, I'm not going to complain. So Dave is protecting their mana here. If they get a basic, I can Ghost Core it. I'm not quite ready to come off the Vexing Bauble yet. Let's put Dave to the test. Do they have a basic here? Okay, they do have swords. Now they can cast over my Vexing Bauble. So I will crack it. Okay, not yet. That should ice them. They did find a land. This definitively puts them on a 2-turn clock here. And I don't see how Dave gets out of this, but I guess a Black Lotus, no, even that doesn't do it. Okay. Maybe I do want some Masticores here. Come off a Null Rod. I don't know how I feel about Bojuka Bog. Like, shutting off the frog at certain points is relevant. In all honesty, I don't hate it. Vexing Bauble is not as good on the draw. I think I'll try it out like this. Yep. I'm going to play the Thorn. Look, Spell Pierce is always a threat from their deck. It just is. And, you know, if they're going to drop a frog here, yes, frog is good. Wasteland, tolerable. Whoa. One lander, guys. They must have a Lorne revealed. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that. Did they skip their turn? Yeah, Dave must have skipped his turn here. Yeah, Dave has skipped their turn here. That's unfortunate. Okay. wasteland here. We could try and take off with patchwork into a nettle cyst or something like that, but I like taking Dave off the ability to cast a frog here. We'll just get a cheeky little patchwork in. Not a super power play, but we'll take it. Now they're wasting us out. Okay, well, that's not unreasonable. And yeah, I mean, we're in a bit of a pickle here. I really don't want to get double wasted, but we don't have much choice. And hopefully we can find a wasteland or another land next turn. Yep, they did have double wasteland. Okay, well, we're looking for land. They do have land. Ooh, we're bricking bad here. I have to hope Dave doesn't have any more mana. This is not good for us if he does. And he does. Frog, yep. That's a scary one. That was a good one too. 3. So I am still underneath my stuff here, but I'm not sure how much Dave wants to be. Oh, I could have resolved a Crucible there. No, I couldn't have. Next turn I can. Now we kind of bricked there for a number of turns, and not ideal. That's a big old frog for sure. But if Dave does not kill anything on my side here, then we can resolve a Crucible. It's very strong. Hmm. Hmm. Can't really block, unfortunately, because I need all the mana. Just have to hope they don't have another wasteland. Identifying that the removal is not great here. They do have another land there. And Time Walk, that's brutal. Yeah, we are actively being tempoed out here. Feel really sad about it, taking these hits, but it just is what it is. Didn't think I was going to lose this game. Lavinia, that is game over. Caracas. Unfortunately, I have to attack him with a 2/2. I have to try and get rid of that Lavinia. I'm a Bowmaster, yep. They can trade with my small one. Like, they can really cripple me here, but Lavinia was savage there. One land. Yeah, so they're going to trade up. Okay. Maybe they just take it. I don't know. Long goodbye is pretty brutal. Surprised I discarded it. Tough having these two Crucibles in hand here. They must have another Lavinia in hand. Don't hate it. I don't know why Dave is manually doing their blocks out this way, but I think they're crazy if they're getting rid of their Lavinia here, but um, I got to be honest, this is a little bit ridiculous. I think they've done every variation humanly possible here. It is not that hard, in all honesty. I do not think that was a good block on their part. But as I say, I don't know what they have in their hand here. But I'm like a workshop away off the top from doing some stuff. And now if they pull Lurus here, that's probably the most dangerous thing for me. But if I'm getting time here with my Academy in play, it's good. Okay, they're going big here on their Frog. That means they've got a Bowmaster likely. Okay. So I'm down to 2 mana. I need land. That is pretty damn good, I'm not going to lie. Wow. Can I kill them here? Very close. I play Crucible. Yeah, I think it kills them. just. All right, well, I will take that. Now, my deck is not built to fight this match. Like back when I originally built this deck, I had 4 snakes in it, like the 4 null rod snake deck, and it was to be able to combat this deck so frog couldn't get through. I do not have snakes in my deck, as you can see, and so I am they're greatly diminished in my ability to combat this deck. Frog is a problem. We do have Argentum Mass scores. We got a couple of Revokers, but as you saw, Revoker is really bad against Bowmaster, and Dave smartly kept his Bowmasters in, despite they're typically quite bad against Shops. They're just a stopgap to be able to block the big beaters, but my deck isn't built that way. So we definitely got lucky. I think Dave, they likely skipped their turn there, and well, they almost assuredly did because they, in succession, played about 6 lands in a row. Um, would have had us beat there, but we will take that. And yeah, guys, I mean, once again, a decent league from the deck. We didn't really see some of the meta decks we were looking for. We ran into an Ocelot Pride deck. We ran into a Dak Faden deck. These are not things that you're going to see in a competitive environment. And we squeaked through. One of them lost to the other one. And yeah, we got a pretty good depiction of the metagame with the other 3 remaining matches. And yeah, this deck is performing well, guys. If you haven't done so already, like, comment, subscribe, and we're going to see you next time. Take it easy.